What the heck? Well gang, I just checked my analytics and it turns out the algorithm really doesn't like it when you stop uploading for 3 years. I tell you, I'll never understand this YouTube thing. All these hidden rules and whatever. I mean, how was I supposed to know that was gonna happen? That's an honest mistake anyone could make. Ah shit, turns out nobody likes me anymore because when you say you're gonna do something for money and then don't do it, that's called stealing apparently. What the fuck? Boy, I really bungled this whole situation up, didn't I? You know, now that I'm looking back on it, this whole not uploading for the past 3 years thing, that was a real dingus move on my part. Plus a bunch of my old videos are out of date. There's a new Sonic comic, a new best way to play Sonic 3. Sonic Mania Plus made parts of these 2 videos obsolete. And the top 10 Sonics video doesn't even have the best Sonic in it. Yep, it's fucked. There's no way I can dig myself out of this hole. Unless... That's it. I know what I have to do. I just have to make the greatest video of my career. Alright, let's see what we got here. This is just a montage of me editing the montage that I'm editing. I forgot you can't just open up Premiere and start making a video. You have to sit down and write the script first and do things like pick a topic. You know what my problem is? I'm trying too hard to be funny. I just need to stop making all these stupid fucking jokes and keep the videos nice and dry, strictly factual. Yeah, that's it. Nice and dry. Back to the basics, you know. That's what people want to see. Something like top 10 shortcuts in classic Sonic games. No, that's too many. Something like top 5 shortcuts in classic Sonic. Ugh, okay, well not that. Something like that, but better. The top 5 shortcuts in classic Sonic. One of the coolest features in the classic Sonic games was the way you could basically create your own shortcuts by using momentum and slopes. The game's physics engine allows for so many opportunities for you to do things like spin dash just right off an incline to end up on a higher route that it would be impossible to list them all. For this video, instead I will be focusing on the intentional shortcuts only, meaning actual deliberate hidden routes planned by the level designers, so none of that Wing Fortress shenanigans that involves abusing your temporary invincibility to walk through propellers or anything like that. Number 5. Chemical Plant Zone Act 2. Let's say you're one of those people who has trouble with the water section at the end of Chemical Plant Zone, and you're not cool enough to take the big boy shortcut to skip it. There are actually multiple ways to skip it if you're skilled enough. But the developers took pity on you little babies who can't make the sick jumps. Once you get to this part of the stage, stop and turn around, then spin dash and jump and you'll find a shortcut that takes you straight to the boss, skipping the entire water portion of the stage, and it even throws in an invincibility monitor for good measure. Number 4. Labyrinth Zone Act 3. This shortcut is actually quite easy to stumble across yourself. All you have to do is land on this loose block here, then write it down to this hidden route. This shortcut basically takes you right to the boss of the zone, letting you skip all this bullshit. It's not the biggest time save on this list, but honestly by Act 3 you'll be grateful to skip any part of Labyrinth Zone. Number 3. Scrap Brain Zone Act 2. This one would have blown my fucking mind if I knew about it as a kid. I only discovered this one after staring at a map of the zone and seeing an upper area that I had no idea how to access. So I went to read about it on Zone 0 and sure enough the way to get there is super bizarre. The elevator is programmed to only take you up there if you have at least 50 rings, which basically means you can't afford to get hit a single time and you need to grab nearly every ring up to this point in the stage. If you do manage to get on this upper route, it's basically a straight shot to the end of the stage. Number 2. Labyrinth Zone Act 1. This is another incredibly obscure shortcut. At the beginning of this act, you can press a button and seemingly all it does is open this door. But if you were to make a tricky jump and ride this floating platform back up out of the water, which is easier said than done, you'll find that pressing the button has made a small, very easy to miss platform appear. Hop on it and it'll take you over to a path that lets you skip virtually the entire level. Before we get to the number 1 shortcut, I'd like to give an honorable mention to this shortcut Marble Zone Act 3, which saves a nice chunk of time and rewards you with an extra life too. You can skip waiting for these stupid spike platforms and riding this block across the lava, although to be fair, you can skip that part with some well-timed jumps too. Number 1. Scrap Brain Zone Act 3. Yeah, basically all of these shortcuts happen to be from Sonic 1. What can I say, that's the game that has the most bullshit in it that I want to skip. This is by far the most useful shortcut in the game. After 3 long fucking acts in Labyrinth Zone, this game's final actual platforming challenge is yet another palette-swapped act of Labyrinth Zone. This is the most brutal one yet, however there's a way to skip virtually the entire thing, turning a stage that usually takes 4 or 5 minutes into one you can beat in 30 seconds. All you have to do is press the button at the very start of the act and then run past the moving platform. It'll take you to a path that goes right to the exit. Honestly, I can't even remember the last time I played through this zone without taking this route. It is kind of funny how the game essentially has 4 acts of Labyrinth Zone and 3 of them have major shortcuts. You typically don't see major shortcuts like this in the later Genesis games, maybe because they got a better grasp on the momentum-based gameplay. No, this isn't working at all. You know what the problem with that video was? It was too fucking dry. I can't come back with this boilerplate Watch Mojo list bullshit. I need to make something actually good, you know? Something heartfelt and sincere, but not cringe. Something deep and meaningful, but not pretentious and still funny. Is such a thing even possible? Yes, it is. I just need to make the greatest video of my career! Throughout the series, Sonic rescues Amy countless times, yet he consistently rejects and rebuffs her romantic advances. But why? Is he just not that into her? Does he not date 3D girls? Is he just gay or something? Or is it perhaps something deeper? Could the Sonic series be interpreted as a commentary on loneliness and the nature of human relationships? Episode 4 of Neon Genesis Evangelion discusses a metaphor about the struggles of human intimacy called the Hedgehog's Dilemma. The parable originates from German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer all the way back in 1851, although he actually used porcupines instead. He wrote, "One cold winter's day, a number of porcupines huddled together quite closely in order, through their mutual warmth, to prevent themselves from being frozen, but they soon felt the effects of their quills on one another, which made them again move apart. Now when the need for warmth once more brought them together, the drawback of the quills was repeated so that they were tossed between 2 evils, until they had discovered the proper distance from which they could best tolerate one another. Thus the need for society, which springs from the emptiness and monotony of men's lives, drives them together, but their many unpleasant and repulsive qualities and insufferable drawbacks once more drive them apart. The mean distance which they finally discover, and which enables them to endure being together, is politeness and good manners. Whoever does not keep to this is told in England to keep his distance. By virtue thereof, it is true that the need for mutual warmth will be only imperfectly satisfied, but on the other hand, the prick of the quills will not be felt. Yet whoever has a great deal of internal warmth of his own will prefer to keep away from society in order to avoid giving or receiving trouble or annoyance." Schopenhauer was an interesting dude. He was one of the first philosophers to talk about the post-nut clarity. Directly after copulation, the devil's laughter is heard. If a person has been successful in copulating, then they have fulfilled their need to reproduce and are momentarily caught in the abyss of meaninglessness. He famously critiqued love, romance, the drive for sex, and how stupid people acted in the pursuit of these things. He believed that people are at their most irrational in relationships, that we are driven by an innate will to live which overrides logical thought when it comes to reproduction. He was one of the first Western philosophers to be influenced by Eastern philosophy, particularly Buddhism. They both have a remarkable emphasis on the idea of life being suffering, and they both ultimately focus on extinguishing one's desires through denial of the will. He also believed that another way to escape the pain of human desire was through aesthetic contemplation in philosophy and art. I believe that by doing a full interpretation of the entire Sonic the Hedgehog franchise through the lens of Schopenhauer, we could uncover brand new insights into the series, and furthermore, I believe that
How's he been? To give you any trouble?
He's been sitting there ever since you left this morning. Just like he does every day. World of his own.
Careful with that, son. Remember I told you that? I don't understand this autism thing, Pop. Here's my son. I talk to him. I don't even know if he can hear me. 'Cause he sits there all day long in his own world, staring at that toy. What's he thinking about? All right, come on, son. Let's go wash our hands, all right? It's all right.
Sticky boogie duck.
May have gone too far in a few places. You know, maybe I just need to accept the fact I can't force myself to make something better than I'm actually capable of making, and I just need to focus on making the things I can actually make. Because I definitely need to make something. I mean, if I was following some YouTuber and they just showed up again after being gone for ages just to say, hey everyone, look at me, and that's it, no videos, no nothing, I'd be pissed. I mean, fuck man, you might as well just stay gone at that point. Why get people's hopes up if you don't have some content to show for it? I mean, sure, I could make some long, boring video for sympathy, but some guy would leave a comment saying, who cares, Steakhead, where's the damn videos? And you know what? That guy would be right. At the end of the day, human beings are temporary, but content? That's forever. The short version is I wasn't able to make videos for a while, and then when I was, I just totally sucked ass. I completely lost the ability to be funny. But at the same time, I kept deluding myself into thinking I was only a couple months away from making some great videos and coming back, so I didn't want to say, hey everyone, I'm back, without having something to show for it, you know? It was during this time I finally realized something important about myself, which is that I was actually never even funny in the first place. It was actually a great feeling, because realizing you're not funny is the first step towards actually becoming sort of funny. And that's exactly what I did. I became funny. Oh, you're wondering why none of my new videos were funny? Well, you see, now that I've learned to be funny, I can simply choose not to be funny of my own volition. Trust me, it feels much better than just naturally not being funny. I know I really disappointed my fans by choosing to come back so early, completely ruining the planning I had laid out for my arc on YouTube. I know I promised to leave for 9 years, but I'm sorry, I just didn't have it in me. So this is the part of the video where I try to convince you to donate to my Patreon again. So here's my pitch. Don't do it. No, seriously, if you spend like 2 minutes, you could easily find another content creator who deserves it more than me. You know, like one who didn't disappear for the past 3 years. I don't even deserve the sweet release of death. If anything, I deserve to be stuck in some kind of purgatory where I'm forced to make videos forever without ever seeing any of the benefits that come from making them. And folks, that's exactly what I've tried to create for myself. Luckily, there are plenty of people who've made great Sonic-related content on YouTube during my absence, like M. Bonnie, Running Shine, Badnik Mechanic, Ruby of Blue, The Geek Critique, King K, Pat Mac, Game Apologist, Zevo, and way more people than I could name here, frankly. Not saying all these guys are Sonic channels necessarily, just they've all made great Sonic-related videos you should check out. That said, it's a free country. If you're some kind of psycho who still wants to support me anyways, then by all means, go ahead. To everyone who ever has supported me, I just want to say I'm eternally grateful. The only reason I even bothered to come back is to try and do right by you. This was for you guys.